What up, fight fans? It's Square Circle Productions coming in with my new rant. This is on the UFC 196 post fight video. And I just want to touch up on the video from last night. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm this, whatever, because I kind of just went with what was popular. Then put my thoughts on how I could see how, strengths and weaknesses of the other fighters and possibilities. But at the end of the day, I was kind of really more expecting order to take place, and I expected Holly Holm to come out victorious, and I wasn't gonna be shocked if Conor McGregor lost, but it was leaning more. I was leaning a little more towards McGregor, but I did point out that the Diaz brothers ain't no punks. Neither one of them is pushovers, and they're warriors, and they'll fight to the end. And there's a reason why they have the reputation that they have. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, as far as it being invincible, that was out the door. But couple of things that was brought to my attention that I didn't know at the time last night was that in retrospect, it was very easy to see why McGregor lost. I mean, he was stepping up 2 weight classes to fight Diaz. And, from what I was hearing, they was like walking around at 168, 169, and so there wasn't no rehydration for neither one of these guys. So if McGregor is the bantamweight champion, and he fought at, I'm taking it he fought, if he went up 2 weight classes, then I'm taking it he fought at welterweight, if I'm correct. So, I think it's bantam, lightweight, and then welterweight. I don't think they have a featherweight in UFC. I could be wrong. Now, if that's the case, then featherweight's in between bantam and lightweight. So then he was fighting at lightweight. But to my knowledge, lightweight is 155 pounds, I think. So, or is it 145? Could be. Who cares? I'm more of a boxing guy than UFC, MMA, but I try to cover both sports. But at the end of the day, the bigger, more experienced guy won. And I think if Conor McGregor takes, and he didn't seem like an asshole all the way, because he gave dude his props. He did admit that maybe, as stepping up in weight like he did, he should have not tried to put so much power on his punches and be more accurate with his punches and not expend so much energy during the fight. So, it's like you're not going to be able to manhandle them dudes 2 weight classes up the way you try to do or have been successful bantamweight. So, I mean, lesson learned. So apparently he didn't lose nothing but a fight. He gained some experience, seeing what it would take for him to step up in weight. He's still apparently he's still the bantamweight champion, and he is the #1 contender at 155 too. So, hats off to you, Mr. McGregor. And if you stop being so damn cocky and come in with a little more, just kind of let your action, let your ability speak for you. That does volumes, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, hey man, I think Dana White and them encouraged a lot of that stuff. Because, hey, let's have our version of Floyd Mayweather Jr., they do that stuff. But at the end of the day, it helped them sell fights. It helps them promote their brand, But then when you lose and stuff, they have a tendency to be like, they create the hype and then step away from you a little bit when you lose. But like I said, McGregor ain't really got nothing to feel ashamed of. And congratulations to Nate Diaz. I'm not going to, compliment the loser more than the winner, But at the end of the day, since Conor McGregor was the hot boy, I'm not saying by any stretch of the means that this dude threw as a fighter. You ain't heard the last of this dude. You know what I'm saying? And he very seriously, once he pretty much exhausted the competition at bantamweight. So maybe he does really need to step up and to have a better challenge. Maybe he bit off more than he could chew, jumping up 2 weight classes. But by him being the number 1 contender at the next up weight class, jumping up 2 weight classes gave him a measuring stick as to how big of a jump is 1 weight class, and he very much, maybe had it been 1 weight class and a different opponent, who's to say? They're already talking about him fighting Frankie Edgar. And I think it'd be a pretty good fight, So, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how things go. And we'll see what did he learn from this loss. But again, congratulations, Nate Diaz. Good fight, man. Get some ice on that eye, boy, because that eye was looking terrible in the post-fight conference. I'm like, dang, he won. But congratulations. Now getting back with the Miesha Tate, Holly Holm, I was a little more shocked that she won. But if you paid attention to my video, I didn't count her out of the fight. I just felt like Holly Holm would win. And I also did mention that Miesha Tate was staring down not being taken seriously as a contender anymore, and she would have been relegated to doorman gatekeeper status had she lost this fight, had she got blown out, had she got smoked. I mean, the only way I could see her not being relegated to a doorman or a gatekeeper and losing the fight was if she had went the distance and maybe lost a split decision or something, a close fight, and Holly Holm edged her out, But I didn't get to see the fight. But sources close to me told me that Holm was dominating the fight, and had she not come up with that submission in the 5th round, late in the 5th round, had she not come up with that submission, she would have lost the fight on points. So, but even in that scenario, she did enough, I think, to garner contention status. So now that she's a champion, you cannot knock her out of the equation. It's going to be very interesting in this women's bantamweight class because Ronda Rousey, she's not out of it, but the reports are she ain't coming back for a year. She's going to take this year off, and I think she does. But Holly Holm is not out of it. Ronda Rousey's really not out the picture. And Miesha Tate is still in it. She stepped up, and now she has champion as her credential, as far as in the UFC. So, not taking nothing away from any one of those 3, because that's the nature of the beast. It's not like boxing, because you can win 3-4 fights straight in MMA. You can win 5 fights. You know what I'm saying? And let's say that most I've seen them fight in 1 year. 3 times maybe in 1 year. If you win 5 in a row, that's like almost a 2 years undefeated. You know what I'm saying? And you got all the buzz. You're hot. You're on top of the world. But you got to understand, winning 5 fights in a row in MMA is like winning 10 or 15 in a row in boxing. Simply because you got more ways that you can lose as opposed to boxing. You're either going to lose a decision or you know what I'm saying, or knockout. You understand what I'm saying? You got decision, knockout, submission. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole. And how do you get knocked out? Do you get knocked out with a headbutt? Do you get knocked out with an elbow? Do you get knocked out with a knee? You get knocked out with a kick? Do you get knocked out with a punch? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's so many more ways. You know, like it's really three basic ways you can lose. But the amount, you not only have to defend punches, you have to defend elbows. You have to, you know what I'm saying? You have to defend knees. You have to defend kicks. And the amount of strikes that you can get hit with is much more a factor because it only takes one punch. In boxing, it only takes one punch. It only takes one hit. You understand? Then there's the whole ground game aspect of it, the whole submission game. You know, chokes, you know what I'm saying, arm locks, leg locks, different things. So there's a lot of different ways, or variations of how you could lose. So, I mean, you could be hot for 5, 6, 7 fights and then just not have it. A particular one and just meet your match. But it doesn't, by any stretch of the means, it's almost impossible for somebody to win 30-something, 20, 30-something fights in a row. I mean, it's not going to happen, dog. I don't know what you smoking. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm trying to say? Unless you're just an A-level type fighter and you're fighting in a D-level promotion. And even then, there's still just the possibility that somebody has an ass whooping with your name on it for that particular day. Some unheralded, unknown prospect come out this mug and just smoke you that day. You know what I'm trying to say? That's how legends are born. That's how legends are made sometimes. People just come out of nowhere and just establish themselves. So, I wasn't too surprised. And it just has something to say about, when a person's back is against the wall. Or when a person's pride is being attacked. When somebody, in the case of Miesha Tate, her back was against the wall. Man, she loses this fight, dog. You can hang it up as far as really in the UFC, as far as holding the title and being a contender for a title. You might get an opportunity on the back end of your career when, let's say, Ronda Rousey steps up to another weight class and Holly Holm steps up to a weight class and you just hang around, and you know what I'm saying, and you get another shot. But man, for right now, time being, had she lost tonight, had she lost convincingly, she's through. So there's a lot to be said about a person when their back is against the wall. That's when you find out what people are really made of. In the other fight, the scenario was, don't wake up a sleeping giant, which is what I said last night. Don't go trying to call somebody a bitch, and trying to punk somebody that's a G, that really has been through wars and is known as a warrior. Man, them dudes is like legends in the Gracie's gym. What are you talking about, dog? The Gracie's gym in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in California is something like Kronk Gym in the 80s in Detroit. Emmanuel Stewart and them. You know what I'm saying? You know how many great fighters came up out of there? Man, do you know what it was, man? Back see, you can easily get that. But when I was coming up, to even walk around with a Kronk t-shirt, some Kronk shorts, man, that meant something. Kronk Gym had it going on. You know what I'm trying to say? And these guys that came up out that gym is legends. You know what I'm saying? One particular was James Toney. So if you want to really say the MMA version or the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu version of James Toney would be the Diaz brothers, man. Them dudes come up are official. They are official dudes. Everybody knew that them dudes was the real thing in that gym there. So you gonna sit here and really try to play these little games with these dudes? Man, they was on TMZ Sports. I didn't even tell you it was a part in there where the his brother leaned into him and said, hey man, if he push you, we gonna whoop his ass. Him and some other guy, because Conor McGregor was popping shit to some dude that was in a crew, talking stuff to them, and they had to remove him. And then when they was, having a little words exchange, the dude called his brother to him and said, hey man, if he push you, we gonna whoop his ass. And you know what I'm saying? And then they started going at it, But I'm just telling you, them dudes ain't no punks, man. So, hey, learn a little humility. Don't, if you're going to pull that crap, know who you pulling it with. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to mess around with old man and find out you picked the fight with the wrong one. Would it be better for him just to go in there, do what he had to do to sell the fight, which really don't need to sell it. You know what I'm saying? Diaz, we'll see. We'll see what McGregor's about. Yeah, you really have to do all that. Talk your shit after you get your W. You talk your ass into an ass whooping. You make it personal, and you turn it into something, trying to pull those slick moves before the fight. You know what I'm saying? Then you come out there and get served. But everything's a learning process. But anyway, man, leave some comments. Need to get my subscriptions up. You know what I'm saying? Just let a person know it was there, that I was there. Took the time to make it, man. Give me a little something. Especially after the video last night, and I pointed out a few of these things, and it actually came to pass. But anyway, comment, rate, subscribe. Peace out. One love.